I don't know if you knew, but Paige Spiranac, the golf influencer, was once a very promising golf professional herself. She was a sensation on the golf course in her junior years and eventually achieved her long-awaited childhood dream, to become a golf professional. But then something changed. How could just one thing ruin Paige's golf career? And what did she do to get revenge on the golf world that had turned its back on her? Well, despite being completely devastated, she was determined to take back what was hers. From her first swing, Paige Spiranac was a natural on the golf course, quickly rising to become one of the top 20 junior players globally. Her talent earned her a scholarship to the University of Arizona, where she competed in major collegiate events. Seeking new challenges, she transferred to San Diego State University, where she truly shone. In the 2012-13 season, Paige earned first-team All-Mountain West honors and finished in the top 10 at several events. Her determination didn't stop there. In her final season, Paige and her team made history by winning the first-ever Mountain West Conference Championship for the San Diego State Aztecs. She would always remember that moment as one of the happiest of her life, celebrating with her teammates by jumping into the pool at Mission Hills Country Club. As she stood at the edge of professional golf, it seemed her path was destined to become one of the greatest female players in the history of golf. Paige's transition to professional golf was initially a dream come true. She played brilliantly, demonstrating the kind of skill and passion that had defined her early career. Life on the tour was exhilarating, filled with the thrill of competition and the joy of pursuing her lifelong passion. But just as she was hitting her stride, an unexpected storm gathered overhead. It wasn't her talent or her performance that drew this cloud. It was something entirely out of her control. Suddenly, Paige found herself enveloped in challenges that had nothing to do with her ability on the golf course. These obstacles cast a long, dark shadow over her promising career, turning what had been bright and hopeful into something fraught and complex. In a sport deeply rooted in tradition and strict standards, her presence on social media and physical appearance became targets of unfair criticism and relentless scrutiny. The sport she loved seemed to be pushing back against her. The golf community, stuck in old-fashioned traditions, wasn't ready for someone like her. Her engaging presence on social media and unique style challenged the established norms, and instead of embracing her freshness, many criticized her harshly. Some critics dismissed her as just another pretty face seeking attention, pointing accusingly at her provocative golf outfits, which they said damaged the sport's traditional image. Yet, whether she intended it or not, this wasn't new for her. As a collegiate golfer at San Diego State, I started sharing videos and images of golf. I wear unconventional golf clothes because I always feel comfortable and want to show a different side of the game. I grew up playing at municipal courses where the dress code wasn't as strict, she once explained. She later acknowledged that her clothing choices may have impacted her golf career, but surrender was not in her vocabulary. Paige was determined to stand by her style, continuing to challenge the norms and redefine what it means to be a golfer. But at what cost? Well, a very high one. In 2017, the LPGA introduced a stricter dress code, banning items like shirts with plunging necklines, leggings, and short skirts. She became one of the loudest critics of these restrictions, passionately arguing in a Fortune opinion piece that the progression of women's golf is sinking beyond our necklines. Her outspoken criticism ignited a firestorm of responses, with naysayers eager to challenge her legitimacy in the professional golf world. Questions swirled. Was it her skill or her appearance that truly made her stand out on the greens? Sadly, Paige's journey took a harsh turn when prominent voices, including ESPN's Sarah Spain, suggested that the only reason she appeared on a Golf Digest cover was about her attire rather than her achievements, casting a shadow over her talent and contribution to the sport. This claim sparked a broader critique, accusing her of sexualizing women's golf and selling her body. Criticisms that pierced deeply and often crossed the line into personal attacks. Paige faced not just harsh words, but a barrage of death threats, insults, and unimaginable hostility. In an emotional interview with Sports Illustrated, the weight of these experiences overwhelmed her. Tears streamed down her face as she recounted the relentless negativity that had clouded her love for the game. It was a poignant moment that highlighted the intense pressures and harsh realities of living in the spotlight, challenging the norms of an entire sport. The night before the tournament, I sat in the bathroom crying uncontrollably, thinking, I don't want to go through this pain, this feeling of helplessness. I was alone, scared, and I didn't want anyone else to feel as frightened and defenseless as I did in that moment. The harassment I was enduring made me feel so vulnerable that I reached a point where I didn't want to live anymore, she tearfully revealed. Her head was obviously not in the right place, and everything would unravel in a heartbreaking press conference after the LPGA qualification event. Visibly heartbroken, Paige faced the cameras with an honesty that was as raw as it was brave. Tears streamed down her face as she revealed the dark side of her rise to fame: severe cyberbullying and suffering from depression triggered by relentless online harassment. She detailed the cruelty she endured. They made fun of the outfits she wore on the course, receiving death threats and even attacks directed at her family's values. The emotional toll was immense, and as Paige broke down, the world saw the profound impact of such venom on a young athlete's life. What should have been the beginning of a dream turned into an overwhelming nightmare. Paige had all the tools it took to succeed. The natural talent was there, undeniable. But something inside her prevented her, a relentless whisper that she couldn't silence, which stifled her ability to fully unleash her potential on the golf course. This disconnect between her potential and her actual results was driving her literally crazy. Until finally, overwhelmed by pressure and suffering, she made the brave decision to leave behind the dream that tormented her. She needed to reclaim her social life, have fun, and stop torturing herself for not seeing the fruits of her tireless labor. She resigned herself to her great passion, having given everything to reach it. After missing the cut again in Dubai in 2016, Paige never returned to the golf course as a professional. But you know how the old saying goes, when one door closes, another opens. Many might have expected her to give in to darkness, defeated by criticism and broken dreams. Instead, she made a bold decision. If the golf world wasn't ready for her, she would build her own space, her own empire, where she could shine by her own rules. That was her revenge. And what better place to reinvent herself than on social media? That digital window is where personalities are shaped and new stars are born. The former golfer channeled everything she had been criticized for, her captivating appearance, unique style, and sharp wit, and turned it into her personal brand. Today, at 31 years old, Paige Spiranac epitomizes modern success in the TikTok era. With over 11 million followers across her social media channels, including 4 million on Instagram alone, her numbers surpass those of any other golfer, including Tiger Woods himself. In 2018, her journey took an even more outrageous turn when she appeared in the iconic Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition, a dream for many models and athletes. And in 2022, Maxim magazine named her the sexiest woman alive. Who would have imagined that the young golfer, once subjected to mockery and ruthless criticism, would become a beauty and sensuality icon in the golf world, even though she's no longer part of it professionally? So who says Paige doesn't belong in the world of golf? She has carved her own path, defying conventions and creating a new archetype of a sports star. She's not afraid to showcase her sensuality while demonstrating her skill on the course. Using her wit and captivating personality, she attracts millions of followers. And of course, this change hasn't been without its challenges. Just picture the scene from a few years ago. Lydia Ko, the top-ranked golfer at the time, was fresh and at the peak of her game. She had earned over $1 million that season, breaking records and captivating fans with her exceptional talent. It seemed like a no-brainer for the iconic Golf Digest magazine to feature her on its cover, right? Well, that's not what happened. The publication chose to feature Spiranac, the social media sensation, instead of the reigning star of professional golf. Can you imagine the uproar this caused? Critics quickly voiced their opinions. Julie Inkster, a member of the LPGA Hall of Fame, strongly criticized the decision not to feature the #1 player on the cover. The attacks weren't just directed at the magazine, but also at Spiranac herself. However, amidst the storm of criticism, two individuals remained calm and confident: Paige Spiranac and Lydia Ko. Not only did they publicly congratulate each other, but they also showed that both stars could coexist at the top, each in their own way. So yes, there were criticisms and controversies, but there was also an unspoken acknowledgement that Paige had a place in that world, even if it was different from that of traditional golfers. Her ability to spark debates and challenge established norms is exactly what makes her such a powerful and influential force. And in the process, even after sharing her expertise alongside stars like DeChambeau on YouTube, golf suddenly didn't seem like an outdated and elitist sport anymore. Instead, it became vibrant and accessible, where even the most unconventional personalities could thrive. Isn't that the real revenge? Well, it definitely is. Paige truly turned the tables, becoming the most popular non-professional golfer in the world. In the end, we're wishing her all the best.